What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian.
I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
To our Blues fan, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
BlueNote fan report. Hey, how is everybody doing out there today? I know the show's a little early. I got something to do today. Got to go drive my car, make some money, so I can come back home, see some more hockey, see you guys, have some fun, do the things that we like to do. Still working on my setup, trying to set things up. We got a Teddy Robinson waiting for the start of the show. Nathan Yeager, howdy, sir. Yep. It is playoff time. Yes, playoff time. And some amazing matchups, right? Amazing matchups coming up. Let me try and get something here. You look at the playoff bracket. Oh no, and I got to do something. Well, this will make sense here in a little bit. I wanted to have more time to set things up, but I've been driving so much, and last night the driving caught up to me, so I slept more today than I wanted to. But you know, hey, that is what it is. I'm good to go. Here we go. Right. So the thing you're seeing scrolling down at the bottom here. Dun 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 dun. That is the password to the BlueNote fan reports bracket challenge. I put it out in my group. See if I can find groups here. Oh, nope, I'm the wrong thing. Dum, give me gum. I put it out on my group. You're more than welcome. We might have a prize. We haven't figured it out yet. Depends on how many people. You know, you get enough people going in, and it's worth putting some money into it. But when you only have 4 or 5, it's not. So if you can get some money into it, then yes, I will get a prize. Don't know what that prize would probably be. A jersey. I would probably get a jersey for somebody. Let me see here. I'm trying to go to the Hawaii Blues Fan Clan one. And I will also post this on my Facebook page. But the reason I put a password on it, was I just don't want, any Tom, Dick, or Harry. I want people that really follow the show to come on the show to be here. And also I put some questions out there that I was going to discuss during the show. They got answered a little bit, not as much as I would have liked. But come on, I know it's here. I know I shared it in the group. I'm like, there it is. Here we go. Okay, found it finally. I know I'm looking. Hopefully, you'll get more people watching me today. With the space. It is with the space. It is just like you see there. Bleeding Blue with the space, capital B's. Present. Okay, so there it is in my in the BlueNote fan report. I will put this link on my page. But you have to message if you don't have you have. I'm going to put that you need to message me for the password. In fact, I'll do it right now while you guys are watching. Right? Oh wow, probably not what I wanted. See, now I think it's going to the group. No, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it later. Yeah, I don't want that big ass link there. I'm not sure if that's going to the group or not. Maybe. I don't know. We'll do it later. I'll do it later. Oh, I didn't even show it, did I? I never added it to the stage. I'm sorry. Let me go back. Here we go. No. Hold on, I got to find it now. I'm just having a day already. We're going to talk about the matchup. We're going to talk about all the matchups a little bit, but the main matchup we're going to talk about is the Blues and the Jets. And I figured I'm going to break it down into 7 different categories, right? The first being the 5 areas of hockey: offense, defense, power play, penalty kill, and goaltending. Right? Who's got the edge in each one of those? And then I added 2 areas. One is coaching, because in the playoffs, coaching matters. Right? And 2, there we go. There's the bracket challenge. Right? Now you can see it. There's the bracket challenge for you. No offense. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Shocky, you know how to get me sometimes. So there's the bracket challenge. I will try and I'll put it in the group today or on my page. But you got to, if you don't see the password or use the password there, you're going to have to message me for the password. Again, I want to make sure that people follow the show or in it. I send it to Wendy. I know Wendy's got one. I'll probably share Wendy's. He does not have a password on his, so you're more than welcome. I really want to see you guys join it. I enjoy. I've done this a couple of years, done pretty good. I think I've won one in a few groups and been like 3rd or 4th in some others. I did really good last year until the finals. I had it. I had all but one right through to the finals. And then both my teams in the finals got knocked out. But I had it right with one exception. And I had the number of games right on like 3 of them. So I did really good. Well, you never know. You always got a chance, bud. Steve, didn't you win a puck? Didn't you just win a puck? In one of my contests? I'm pretty sure you did. Wasn't that you? I'm like thinking, wasn't that you that just won a puck? Where's Hefner when you need him? Actually, one of the things that we're thinking about is Hefner brought it up. He wanted to get a puck and have us like all sign it as somebody won it, pass around. But I thought like a T-shirt would be better. Yeah, okay, I get that, but you did win something, right? So let's get into. I thought Wendy might show up, right? I'm going to do 2 brackets. I haven't done my bracket yet. You have till Monday, but games start Saturday. So they kind of give you that first game, right? So, if you put somebody getting swept and you lose the first game, you got a chance to change it. But no, I'm going to do 2 brackets. I'm going to go one with my head and one with my heart. My heart, I'll tell you straight up, my heart is going to be Blues Toronto in the finals. And I hate to say this, but I'm going to say Toronto wins, so Berube makes me look like a fucking idiot. That would be my heart, my fantasy bracket. I'm going to start it with Toronto and St. Louis and then go backwards and then just fill everything in. So, yes, I would have St. Louis beating Winnipeg, then them advancing to conference finals and into the Stanley Cup finals. I would have Toronto beating Ottawa and then advancing. Now, another question to bring up is, and we can bring this up now and we can talk about it at the end of the show. There are 5 Canadian teams in the playoffs. How many make it to the second round? Now, one's going to get knocked out no matter what. So the answer is 1, 2, 3, or 4. And I think it's 2, right? I think it's 2. I see at least 2, if not 3. It's 2 or 3, right? I think they do too. And one of the things that we'll talk about is the X Factor. And the X Factor has a lot to do with it, right? So let's get into this. Let's start with, and I wanted to put up like a whiteboard and that, but I didn't get a chance to do it. I don't have one downloaded. I wish I did. I always thought I did. Hold on. See if I got it here last second. We can do this. Oh, there is Microsoft Whiteboard. Okay. Let me download this real quick. I'll see if it costs me. I don't think it does. Give me a second, guys. Well, if you don't want me to do it, tell me you don't want me to do it, right? I don't have to. But, well, I'm downloading this. We'll talk about it. So the first area of hockey, in my eyes, is offense. Who has the better offense? Who has the edge in this playoff series in offense? The Jets or the Blues? Now, overall, the Jets have one of the top offenses in the league, right? There's like no doubt about that. Oh man, I'm just having all kinds of issues. One of these days, I'm going to actually do this show and have my ducks in a row. All right. So, goals for per game. Winnipeg was 4th overall, right? With 3.35 goals per game. Tied with Dallas, so tied for 3rd. We were 13th overall at 3.05. Now, if you go from the end of the I don't think I can do the team report from the end of the Four Nation tournament, at least not on this one. I'd have to go to a different one to do that. Yeah, I'd have to go to a different one. I think that the numbers are a lot closer, right? Overall, let's do a quick look at something here. We'll go to Winnipeg first. Winnipeg, Kyle Connor, 97 points. Mark Scheifele, 87 points. Connor had 41 goals. Scheifele had 39 goals. So their top guys are definitely sitting a little better than we are. But when you look at this, Connor had 56 assists. I don't know why I don't just do that. Here we go. There you go. Maybe you guys can see that. right? I hope you guys can see that. There might be something I can look at. I got to remember when the actual Four Nations ended and hockey started again. Probably look at a schedule to figure that out. But I get, yeah, you might be right. But I do think since the break that definitely one of the best teams since the break. Overall, their top 10, the lowest in their top 10 is 34 points. Okay. I mean, those are good numbers, right? I mean, pretty good. They're the what do you call it? The President's Trophy team, X Factor. You get to the Blues. Robert Thomas, 81 points. Kyrou, 70 points. Kyrou, 36 goals. Second, I want to say, is Holloway with 26. Holloway's an X Factor. Last 41 games, we had more goals and gave up around the same, I think. And it's possible. There is a way. I'm on the wrong thing here. I think on the NHL one. Let me look at something here real quick. While I got this up, and I want to look at something. I think that there's a way to do this. So stand by to stand by. Yes, okay. I can do a filter. Yay me. So some results, yes. Okay. There is a way to do this. Now I can't find it. I know there's a way to do it to where you can. Oh, here we go. My game. There we go. I found it now. Yeah. No problem, Wendy. So I'll pull this up here in a second. When did the Four Nations tournament end? Anybody remember? Let's go to the schedule here and see if I can do this. It ended back in late February, the 24th. Is that when games started again? February 24th. I think it was. No, February 22nd. Yeah. So from February 22nd, go back to stats. February 22nd, we're going to go teams. I'm working on it. February 22nd until today, regular season, some results. Well, here we go. This is since the Four Nation break. The Blues were 19-4-3. Were 41 points. That was the most in the league in that time period. Most points, 788 since the Four Nation break. Right? Goals for per game. Blues, 381. First in the league. Winnipeg Jets, 281. Now, where the Jets beat us, goals allowed per game, got to flip that one. Jets were the best. We were next. I got to tell you, in offense, I may have to give a small edge to St. Louis. Right? I'm waiting for Wendy. Wendy should be popping up here in a few minutes. And I really want to talk to these. But who do you give the edge to? Who do you give the edge to? right? Now, I did the poll on Twitter. I did it on Twitter. I want to see if I can pull it up. Here we go. So on Twitter, I got 19 votes. There's actually 4 hours left. I couldn't remember the timing. Who has the edge in offense in the first round series between the Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues? And the Blues won out 52% to 47% on 19 votes. Right? That's and I think it's that close. I honestly think it's that close. Can you guys hear me okay? That's one thing since I've opened this room up. I don't sound as good in my ears as I think I should. I may have to try and adjust this a little bit. It just doesn't sound right in my ears. There we go. It's a little better. Now I'm getting a little background. I wish Lance was here. He could tell me. I wish he could tell me some of the things I need to do to maybe set this up a little bit better, or what type of mic I have. I can't hear that at all. Oh, there we go. Now I hear a little better. Try and up this. I don't know. I just don't seem like I hear myself. And I don't want to like jam the volume up super high, which I feel like I always got to do. But at the beginning, yeah. Right? At the beginning, yeah. I mean, when you look at the Blues since the Four Nation break, they're a team to be reckoned with. Now, they had a little bit of a letdown going into the finals, going in the last couple of games. Okay, understandable. I'm not going to hold that against them as much as some others do. The Blues, based on the second half, Jeff have 0 meaningful games for a long time. I'm not so sure about that. Right? One of the things that happened, the President's Trophy curse, is because a lot of teams win it early and then back off. And that affects a lot, right? That affects a lot. So when you look at this, you're looking at since the Four Nation break, you're looking at the two best teams in the league. You're looking at a team that has scored 99 goals in 26 games against a team that scored 73 in the same period. A team that gave up 60 against a team that gave up 56. Right? Here he is. Hey, Window.
Hey.
Can you hear me okay, buddy?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep. So what we're talking about is you know my 5 areas of hockey. We've talked about them in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna heavily break down this series, and we're gonna do the 5 areas of hockey, coaching, and X factors.
Okay.
And then we'll quickly touch on the other series, if we have time. All right?
All right.
So I'm looking right now, and I've been talking about it at length a little bit. Who has the edge in offense, the Jets or the Blues? And this is what you're looking at are the stats since the Four Nation break. And basically, they've been the two best teams since the Four Nation break.
No, you guys have the higher offense. I know that.
So you think the Blues offense is better than the Jets offense?
At this moment, yes.
Okay. And I'll kind of, I agree with you. I think for me, like one of the comments that got put up here, Jamie took responsibility for those 3 losses. Here we go. Stephen Glass said the Blues based on second half. This was the question: who has the better offense? The Jets had 0 meaningful games for a long time. I don't know if that's completely true, but the reason the President's Trophy curse happens is a lot of these teams, by the time they win it, they back off, and then you can't just turn it on for the playoffs. And when you play the lower seeded team, this is the team that's been in playoff mode already for weeks. And that's why the upsets happen in my eyes. Just look at the eye test tells me right now, for the most part, the Blues are clicking. And then the games they lost after were all basically 1-goal games, right? They lost 3-1 to the Jets, but that was a empty netter. They lost to the Avalanche, I think. Was it no, not the Avalanche. They lost to somebody else. Now I can't remember. But they were 1-goal games, right? They lost to the Kraken. That was a 1-goal game, and then they lost to somebody else, and I think that was the Kraken might have been an overtime or a shootout. Kraken was a shootout. I take that back. Kraken was a loss in shootout. There was one other team they lost to. I don't think it was Colorado, but I cannot think of who it was. The Jets. Who'd they lose to after that? Maybe it was Colorado. It might have been Colorado. I don't remember. But they 1-goal games. So the team is I'm not harping on the loss as much. And that's a huge X factor that we'll talk about. He said it was my fault for wearing the Jobu shirt. I like that. The Jets also played a ton of games. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. So that's on that. So let's go to defense, right? In this series, who has the edge in defense? I asked this question on Twitter.
Winnipeg.
Let me see if I can pull it up here real quick. Here we go. Who has the edge in defense in the first round series between the Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues? On Twitter, I got 8 votes, and it's split right down the middle.
Winnipeg has the stronger defense. I know that. But granted, you have to put into a contributing factor with Connor Hellebuck, who tends to not unlock a lot of goals.
Well, and now we can look at the whole season, but I think since the Four Nation break, that's a better picture of what you have going into the playoffs. Would you agree?
And I
not?
still say, I kind of agree, and I still say it's Winnipeg.
Oh, no. I'm not. In fact, if you go here and we go at goals against per game, wrong way. There we go. It is Winnipeg a little bit. 2.15 to 2.31. Winnipeg in 26 games since the break gave up 56 goals, where the Blues gave up 60. I'm kind of okay with that. I can say I look at this and go, I think they might have a slightly better defense. The difference being here is style of play. I think Winnipeg plays more of a defensive game, where I think the Blues offense, and this is the way I sum it up, is offensively aggressive, defensively responsive. Does that make sense, Win?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Right? And it kind of, for me, going into this, I think that's what it's going to get to in offense and defense, 5-on-5, who gets to their game first.
Mm-hmm.
And then not only is it who gets to their game first, who can stay on their game, right? Because let's say Winnipeg early in that first game gets a whiteout bump, scores a goal within a minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got to their game first. But if the Blues within 3 or 4 minutes get that back and settle that crowd down, and then they can stay on it longer, get another goal or two, or keep it close and tight, now you're playing into the Blues more than you are Winnipeg, right? So to me, the question is, who's going to get to their game 5-on-5? Who's going to get to their game first, and who's going to stay on their game longest? What do you think? It's game one. We got game one coming up tomorrow. I'll be doing a show. What do you think on game one? Who do you think is going to get to their game first?
I would probably say it will be St. Louis, mainly because Winnipeg was going into the playoffs a little slow.
And that's highly possible, right? Highly possible. Do you think Winnipeg stays on their game longer then?
No.
No. Oh, so you have St. Louis winning game 1.
I have St. Louis winning the series in 7.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Was it 7 or 6? I could pull it up real quick. Hang on.
I don't know how to respond to that. I honestly haven't picked my series yet. Right? I really haven't.
I did my bracket earlier today, and my main issue with Winnipeg, Connor Hellebuck, when it comes
We'll
to
get there.
playoffs.
We'll get there. That's coming up. We'll get there. You see the comment?
Yeah, I saw. There's something with Hellebuck I just don't trust.
Okay, and that's fair. That's fair, Wendy. Wendy, that is fair.
Yeah, it was a 7-game series, so
I can literally see that. I absolutely. In fact, I think any series the Blues win is going to be a 7-game series. I really do. I think it's going to be a 7-game series, and they're going to be on the road for all 4 of them, if it goes that far.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There is no series. Well, the only series that could happen
if it's Montreal
and one other team. There's one other team. I forget who it is. The other wild card. I think the other wild card team, the Blues had more points than.
I don't think you guys have more.
Oh my goodness!
Points than all.
Say again.
I don't believe you guys have more points than Ottawa. Yeah, you don't.
We don't. Okay. They don't have the they have playoffs up, but they don't have they don't have the standings up.
Yeah, they do.
On NHL Network?
Yeah, on the NHL app. Or
on the app,
NHL.
they might. Yeah, on the network, if they've got it, it's hiding.
But Montreal is the only team that has less points than you.
No, yeah, no problem. Now I lost my thing here. I gotta pull my thing back up. So give me a second. Let's get into the next area while we're doing it. I say Blues 6, 4, 5, 7, 6 and 4, 5 or 7. I think Jets. I don't know about that. 4 and 5 I put on the Jets. 6 and 7 I give to the Blues.
I'm just saying the Jets have one issue when it comes to the playoffs, and it's if Connor Hellebuck has the stamina to go into a playoff run. They overuse.
You're getting ahead of me, bud. we will talk about that, right? The next area is the power play, right? And who's got the better power play? This is, again, looking at since the 4-nation break. I know I have it a little big here. Let me kind of tone it down. I have it like this so I can see a little better. The Blues are 27.5 since the 4-nation break. And the Jets, I don't even see them. Wow, are 18.5%.
Mm-hmm.
Since the 4-nation break. Overall, I think the Jets are like one of the top teams in, so if I go by season, power play percentage, the Jets are number 1.
Yeah.
Right? And the Blues are, I think, 16th. So top half. But you look at what they've done since the 4-nation break, I almost call this a push.
It's about a push, yeah.
Right? I think that this would be a push. They led the league. I mean, I kind of showed it up here. They led the league for the whole season. But think about this. They led the league at 28.9%. But when you go and go to by game, and you come here and we take it down to February 22nd, and go to power play percentage. Here we go. We're now talking about a team we're 24th, 18.5. I mean, they had to be in the high 30s to be 28% in the first.
Yeah, they were. They were on a power play that was not just sustainable at the start of this season. I know
Yeah.
that.
Right. So there, I honestly, I got no problem going with a push on this one. Right. And the other reason I could go small edge blues, and that's the fifth area that we'll talk about, because what's the saying about the penalty kill? Who's got to be your best penalty killer?
Goaltender.
Your goaltender's got to be the best goaltender, and that pulls into a little bit when we talk about the next area, and that is the PK. Right? The Blues, since the four-nation break, are at 81.5%. That's good numbers. Overall, they're not so good, and we'll look at that. The Jets, 78.6%. Then we go, and we'll look at this by season. The Jets are 13th at 79.4. So they kept that number pretty close, right?
They were pretty much even all season.
Where overall for the Blues, I know we didn't have good numbers. We were 28th at 74.2%. So, I mean, we were down there a bit. So having the 80%, so the penalty kill is better now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? In the penalty kill, I'll keep the power play a push, but I'm going to give the edge and ever so slightly to the Blues. And the reason being is the next area we're going to talk about. Right? What about you, bud?
I would give a slight edge to Winnipeg on the PK. I know one thing with Winnipeg, they don't take a lot of penalties. They did not take a lot of penalties, so that does kind of skew some percent stats if you think about it.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's get into that. And since the four-nation break, we want to reverse this, right? Yeah, there we go. Since the four-nation break, the Winnipeg Jets have only taken 156 penalties. 156 penalties. They've taken 67 penalties. That's it.
Yeah, that's why
right?
If you have to look at like the percentage, it does kind of get skewed for
a little bit. Yeah. And then the Blues now have taken 75 penalties for 204 penalty minutes. Go to penalties taken. Where we go. So penalties taken. Oh, I want to go the other way with that. There we go. Jets are 4th. Blues are 8th. So the numbers are decent.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Net penalties, meaning penalties drawn over penalties taken, for the Blues is the positive 18. For the Jets is the positive 9. So that fares well for the Blues, that they're going to be able to make the Jets take some bad penalties. Right? Mm-hmm. At least it's a possibility. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Right? We had 1 game misconduct, 2 misconducts. I don't know who the game misconduct was. I can't remember.
Bennington, wasn't it?
No, it was not Bennington. Bennington didn't take a game misconduct.
I'm kind of shocked when he did kind of sucker punch Corey Perry in the back of the head earlier.
He did not sucker punch Corey Perry in the back of the head. Corey Perry
he did too.
The skate.
He also then got up and sucker punched Perry in the back of the head. I don't like Corey Perry. Like Bennington.
There was nothing was dirty. Bennington took a 2-minute roughing. That's it.
Okay. I was like, both plays were dirty, but what Bennington did was worse.
You kick a defenseless goaltender laying on the ground with a weapon?
You
That
get
can
up
kill?
and what?
A skate blade can kill.
Yeah, but he didn't even, if you look at the play, he skated into there, yes. But then a few seconds later, Bennington jumped right up and sucker punched Perry right in the back of the head.
Okay. And you know what, Steven? Somewhat it is. But you have to look at, I mean, you can look at the entire season, but the entire season doesn't tell the story because the way this season was, it broke down into two separate parts, right? There is before Four Nations and after Four Nations. And after Four Nations, some teams figured it out. And some teams that you thought had it figured it out lost it. And to discount or I mean, you in some ways you got to discount the whole season. In other ways, you got to take it in consideration. So it's hard to figure out where to do that. So that's kind of where I'm doing it, right? Let's go back here. Where were we at? So let's go back to. This is going to be the big one, and we'll do this here in a second. We're just going to go to goalies, goaltending, right? And we can do the whole season, and I wish the only thing that I don't like is I can't pick multiple teams. I think there's a way, but I can't remember. Right? So I go to Winnipeg Jets, and when you look at the Jets, two goalies, Hellebuck and Cormier. Hellebuck has a 2.0 and Cormier has a 2.39. Cormier's played 20 games. He was 9-10-1. I don't think you'll see Cormier in this series no matter what. Yeah, Shock, there's a difference between when you have a 2-week break, that's a lot different than a 4-day break.
Yeah, the only reason you will see Eric Connery in this series is if Hellebuck it just completely dismantles in a game. And he has history of doing that in the playoffs. Connery doesn't get a lot of playing time with Winnipeg when you have in my opinion, the Hart Trophy winner as your backstop.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to win the Hart, but
he should with the numbers he put together. He's probably going to end up with the Hart and Vezina for sure.
And then we look at the Blues, and you have Bennington with an 269, and these are season stats, and Hoffer with a 264. Now, if I think we go by game with Bennington and look at that is and very true. If you go and look at since the Four Nations, I think it tells a different story, right? I think it tells a really different story. And not only that, before I go to it, look at how many games did Hellebuck have? Can you see that, Wendy, by any chance?
It was like 63.
He's played 63 games, right? Bennington had 56 games, right? Started 54. Hellebuck started 62. So he came in one game when he didn't start, right? Go back to this.
But you also have to put in the Four Nations as a factor of playing extra games for Hellebuck. He played all 4 games. No, he played 3 out of the 4.
Bennington played 3 out of the 4, right?
Bennington played all 4. Yeah, Bennington played all 4. Hellebuck played 3 out of the 4.
Right. Yeah, that's what I thought. So you got here, since the Four Nation break, and I'm going to break it down. Well, Bennington's 5th. 17 games played, 16 games started, 13-3-1 with a 9-10 and a 223. And I think he played better than those numbers. Right? And Hellebuck's 3rd. Yeah, Hellebuck, 19 games, 13 5-1 with 924 and a 187. You know, you said it. Hellebuck's just got this thing for.
I just think he gets burnt out going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I do too, and I think like 58 games is the number, right? Once you and I'm not just pulling it out of my ass. I just from what I can feel, once you hit that 58, 59, 60 games played, what was the Vasilevsky when he won the President's Trophy with Tampa, right? He set the record for most wins in a season with, I think it was 56 or 57.
I'm pulling it up. Hang on.
Right, and then he turned around and laid an absolute egg because he got overused. Right, this is kind of where I feel we're going to with we're going to with Hellebuck is it gets overused. And not only that, I think when it comes to backup, Hoffer is much better than Cormier.
Connery, you mean?
Huh?
Connery, you mean?
Connery, yeah, sorry. I'm terrible with names. You know that. You know that enough by now, Benny.
Yeah,
Benny.
the year the Vasilevsky play, I believe this was their year they won
18-19. It would have been 18-19.
18-19.
Yep.
Oh, Vasi only played 53 games that year.
How many did he win? Didn't he win I thought he won 56.
He won 39 games that year.
Was Vazzy with Tampa?
Yeah.
God, for some reason I thought he set the record.
His most games played in a season came in the 21-22 season where he played 63 games that year, having 39 wins in that season. But the year he did play a 65 gamer in 17-18.
Yeah.
And won 44 games.
So, and again, I think that they get worn out. So, I for goaltending, to me, you got to give the edge to St. Louis. I know it's hard, but and again, it comes down to Hellebuck is the biggest X factor too to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Hellebuck.
That's why I have this series going 7 against and St. Louis probably taking it just because I think Hellebuck was overused. He's going to win the Vezina. He's going to end up with, in my opinion, he should end up with the Hart Trophy.
Mm-hmm.
But Winnipeg's problem is always overusing Hellebuck, even though, yes, he's their best player on that or in that organization. But the stamina for a playoff run is so much different than going for a stupid President's Trophy.
Yep. Oh no, I absolutely agree. So we got 2 more areas to talk about. We'll cut it real quick. Coaching. For me, coaching goes to St. Louis.
It's kind of hard to say just because both teams have good coaching now.
Mm-hmm.
With Winnipeg, this is their first time being a number 1 seed out of 2 organizations in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And this is their first time. They made a coaching change, I believe, wasn't it this past off season because their coach retired? That's impressive to go on and have a season like this. And what St. Louis did is they fired their head coach, got the right head coach immediately after he came available because Boston reasons.
Yeah.
I would say it's a push. I think it's a split.
I can see that. I'm giving the edge just because of where the teams were. Well, first of all, Winnipeg came in with high expectations. I mean, a lot of people. I think you had them second, didn't you?
I could pull up my season standing predictions. I don't think I had them second. Give me one moment. I could rewind back to it real quick.
Well, the Blues ended up where I thought they would, are a little bit higher than I thought they would. I thought they would be fifth and challenging for a wild card spot. I'll take fourth and being a wild card. Or no, they were fifth. They were fifth. Take that back. They were fifth and became the wild card.
So I had Winnipeg finishing fourth at 98 points.
98 points. You had the Blues at eighth at 73 points, I think. 72 points.
Yeah, 73.
73. They did a little better.
That was because I did not trust their coaching at the time.
Okay, fair enough. We talked about it. Remember the question I asked you when you told me that?
I said I don't trust the coaching.
No. Before that, when at Vitaly's Hideaway, when we did this prediction show, and you told me you had the Blues at 72 points.
73.
There was a question I asked you. Do you remember what that question was? Or 73 points?
Yeah, I don't know.
Where did the 20 points go? Right? And the answer may have been coaching, because the Blues, I think if the Blues keep with Bannister,
they probably would be at that 70. They probably would have been around that 75-point range if they kept Bannister.
I absolutely agree with that. Right? I absolutely agree with that. And you're right here. That is the big difference between Bennington and Hellebuyck. Bennington knows. He's been there, done that. Got the T-shirt, literally. Right? Got the motorbike. Last thing on this series is the X factor. There's a lot of X factor. What is your biggest X factor for this series?
It's Hellebuyck. Hellebuyck or bust if for Winnipeg on this series, because if he goes to what we know he can turn into in the playoffs, Winnipeg's going to be out in 7 games.
I tried to think of what X factors there might be, and Holloway became an X factor. Bennington was an X factor. The Montgomery effect was an X factor. The Hellebuyck effect was an X factor. I thought about the whiteout. I thought about the fact that Winnipeg is struggling up there with attendance and that. And here it is. Here's a team that won the President's Trophy, and I think they were only at like 76%. They were. I have it here in a sec. If you give it to me a second. Oh no, I thought they pulled it up. The regular season attendance for them was low. Right? It was not good. And it to me, it definitely affects everything going on. It affects the game in itself, but it just comes down to which Hellebuyck shows up. How many playoff series has he won? I think one.
No, he went on a run where they went to the conference final.
When?
The year Vegas expanded into the conference final. Vegas knocked them out, and Vegas went to the cup final to lose to Washington.
Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of something.
So that would have been 2018.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, it's got to be the Hellebuyck factor for me too. I think that Hellebuyck is by far the biggest issue. Now, I mean, because I don't have a lot of time today. Unfortunately, I wish I had a little more time. We're going to go over. We'll start in the East and go down each one of these series. I'll give you a couple of moments to say what you think on each series there, Wendy. How's that sound?
All right.
If I can find my right tab, give me a moment. I can't find the tab I need. Oh my goodness. Why am I having such a rough time today? Give me a second, Win. I'm sorry, man.
It's all good.
Well, we can start with the first one, Toronto at Ottawa, while it's up there on the screen, and you can go through it, buddy.
Okay, for this series, I will say I had Toronto winning it in game 6, mainly because the experience versus lack of experience in this series. Ottawa hasn't been to the playoffs since 2017, and that's a completely different roster from then. Their only main experienced player in the playoffs is Claude Giroux. And I will give it to Toronto in this series, even though Ottawa did sweep the Maple Leafs in the regular season. But
No, Ottawa has somebody else that's got playoff experience.
well, Linus Olmark, and I don't count Perron as much of a big factor for that roster.
Okay. Well, Perron's got a cup.
Yeah, but he's not the big he's not a big name player for Ottawa.
Okay.
He's not.
Fair
He's
enough,
the
but
depth
he was instrumental in the Blues Cup run.
Mm-hmm. He is a depth player for Ottawa, in my opinion.
Okay. And that's fair. I mean, he's older, right? I think Toronto wins this one. I do. I think that Berube's defensive style of coaching, as much as I hate it, pays off here.
Yeah.
And I see him in 6. And I haven't picked yet. I have not picked yet. I'll be honest. So we'll go to the next one in that. Tampa at Florida.
I'm going with
Florida at Tampa. My bad. Florida at Tampa.
I'm going with Tampa in this series mainly because I have it going 7. 2 factors. Matthew Tkachuk is coming in injured, and Andre Vasilevsky is back. I'm taking Tampa in this series on pure speculation that Tkachuk's not healthy. The Panthers have not played good hockey in the last month and a half, and they've been injured. The Lightning are healthy and playing some of their best hockey all season. That's why I have Tampa and Andre Vasilevsky moving on.
I can see that. I'm still kind of. By the way, Aaron Nels, David Acey, thank you for putting the thumbs in the air. I really appreciate it. I'm still kind of dicey on this one. I haven't picked this one, and I'd say I could flip flop. I'm kind of. I see what you're saying, but Florida having that cup run experience and still having most of the guys that were on that cup run. I give the edge to them in 7, but not by much.
I mean, Tampa still has a good portion of their core left from their cup runs too.
Yeah,
so
that's true
the
too.
only player really, Stamkos is gone, but they got back. They got Jake Gensel, who has 2 Stanley Cups as well.
Next series, the East Division leader, Washington against the upstart Montreal Canadiens, who are making the playoffs, and they haven't made it since the fake entry in 2021. Or no, 2021 they made it. Sorry.
They made it they were in the cup final in their COVID season.
COVID season, yeah.
Not the bubble year.
Yeah, the bubble year. That is correct. So where are you at on this?
The bubble cup was Dallas versus Tampa. The next year was Montreal versus Tampa.
Yeah.
This one I have the Washington Capitals, mainly because of experience going into it. The Capitals play a stronger structured game than the Canadiens. I do like Montreal. However, I have this series going 5 games.
I'm with you. I see this is the one that I'd see as a sweep. I just think Montreal doesn't have it. I could be wrong. They got a rookie goaltender too that I think, and he's from St. Louis, by the way. But I also think that that's going to play into it a lot. I think Ovechkin just eats up, and Ovechkin's age plays into it, but he kind of seems like the ageless wonder, and I think the playoffs is going to be good for him. And he got some rest. He got some rest down it, and he ended with 897. I thought he would get to 900, but he took time off. All right. Okay, the last series in that one, Carolina, New Jersey at Carolina.
This one, I'm taking the Hurricanes. Even though I know the Hurricanes historically are not a good playoff team, the reason I'm taking the Hurricanes in this one, I'm taking them in 6, is New Jersey's health is bad. They are injured. Jack Hughes is out. Dougie Hamilton might be coming back. But their team is, with some of their bigger name players, they're injured. It's not going to help them. That's why I have the Hurricanes winning this series. However, I have it in 6 because New Jersey, it can be a pesky team when they have some injuries on their team still.
Right. I'm with you. I see Carolina in this one. I'm thinking 6-7. Like I said, and I have the right to flip flop when I do my brackets. So I'm putting that out there.
I already posted my video on.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna wait on mine. I might do an online, like a recorded show tonight or tomorrow, and post one. Okay, we did Winnipeg at St. Louis. Both of us have St. Louis in 7. Dallas at Colorado at Dallas.
I have Colorado winning it.
I'm Dallas in 6.
I have Colorado in 6. The main reason, Colorado's getting healthy. They're playing some of their best hockey going to the playoffs. Dallas has not really been playing good hockey for the last month and a half, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And with a key factor in this one, Gabe Landeskog might be making his return to the Colorado Avalanche roster for the first time since their Stanley Cup win.
That is one rule that I think the NHL needs to change. In order for you to play in the playoffs, you should have played in at least 10%, 8 games during the regular season.
He had a legitimate injury.
Doesn't matter.
They also
you missed the whole season. This is what everyone talks about with the circumventing the cap, right? To me, in order to be on a playoff roster, you would have had to play 8 games in the NHL or 40 games in the AHL.
They did send him down to the AHL to get conditioning. If I remember correctly, Colorado never technically placed him on LTIR. They just placed him on IR. If I remember correctly.
It's still it's an issue, and that's just how I feel about it. I get where everyone talks about, because I think, wasn't it Stamkos the one year that
no, it was Kucherov.
Kucherov, had surgery, missed the entire season, came back for the playoffs.
Yeah, the COVID year.
Yeah, right. Next series, kind of a big one. The Pacific is big. You have Vegas at Minnesota.
This is a bad matchup for Minnesota, in my opinion. I'm taking this one in 4 for Vegas. Wow. Main reason why, Vegas has a much deeper roster. Minnesota is coming back more healthy now, but I just don't like this matchup for Minnesota at all. I'm taking Vegas in 5.
I got a question for you. Let's say Vegas it's 3 games to 1. Game 5, who does Minnesota start?
It would be a Good thing to maybe save Fleury, but I don't think they're going to play Fleury at all.
The thing is, I think it would be like the best thing to do. Like if you know if you think your chances are gone, play Fleury. But at the same time, does Fleury want to go out on a loss?
I would not if I was him, because what Minnesota did the other night was actually class act to Minnesota. Gustafson started the game. That game went into overtime. They
And then
pulled
they brought in
Gustafson and put Marc-Andre Fleury in for the overtime to get him a win. And I give the tip of the hockey helmet to Minnesota for doing that. And I think that might have been his last ever time we see him between the pipes in a game.
Possible. The last series here, this one, this is the hardest one to pick, but the most interesting one to me. Edmonton at the Kings, and I know where I'm going on this one. I just don't know how many games.
Okay, this one, in my opinion, is not as difficult as it should be. I don't. The Edmonton Oilers have injuries. Their top defenseman in Ekholm is out. You never know what you're going to get with Stuart Skinner between the pipes. McDavid's not 100%. I'm taking the LA Kings because they have the goaltending and defense in that on that team. LA in 6 over Edmonton.
By the way, I just remembered the other team that St. Louis lost to in their was Edmonton, and that's the one where they got robbed, and the referee fucked up. So, and that was a 1-goal game. Real quick, do you know what game I'm talking about, Wendy?
No.
Okay, never mind. Last one. So I'm on the Kings. I just don't know how many games. I could see 6. I don't see 4 or 5. I see 6 or 7. I just think Edmonton doesn't. Goaltending is the hugest question for me. I think Skinner got lucky. I think Skinner just got lucky last season. And I honestly think that he was outplayed in every series he won.
Yeah, he was. I will say this: I gave him a nickname of Stuart Skidmark for a reason, because he can really lay a bad mark on his stats in a single game.
Right. Great show, Wendy. Thanks for it. I mean, I know it was I wanted to get this posted 2 days ago, but some things happened and I didn't get it posted till later today. And I know I wanted to tell you a couple days ago about it so you could have more time to come on and prepare, but you're always prepared, and I greatly appreciate it. We might come on. I'm supposed to come on at 11:30. Well, 5:30 your time tomorrow. I may come on earlier if things work that way and do an extra half hour. It's possible I might change the timing on that. If I'm there and you want to come on, more than welcome, and we can continue talking about this. I will get the bracket challenge in, the password Bleeding Blue. Wendy has a bracket. I will put it out on my page on the BlueNote BlueNote fan clan, or the STL Hawaii BlueNote or Blues fan clan. I can't even think of what the name of my group is. I'll put it out there, and you guys are welcome to join it. Are they welcome to join it, Wendy?
Yeah, it's a public. I made it public. No password on it. It's easy to access now because
I made my password because I just didn't want, because if I give a prize away, I didn't want someone jumping in last minute.
Mine doesn't have a prize, so that's why it's public. It's no big deal if someone hops on. Yeah. Now, would you like to know my pick for the cup right now?
Yeah, go for it.
So, going into the conference finals, you have the Colorado Avalanche taking on the LA Kings, and Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Washington Capitals. My Stanley Cup final, you have Tampa Bay eliminating the Capitals and Colorado eliminating LA, and the Stanley Cup goes to the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I could see that. I don't think Colorado's going to get past round 2. Well, I have Dallas beating them, honestly, but I think even if they do beat Dallas, I don't think they get past round 2. Right? The thing with Dallas, the thing with Colorado, and this is why I advocate for this system, other than the one everybody wants, is because you set up an amazing second round match between any of these 4 teams. These are 4 divisional teams. That it's like the old style Norris division. And if it is St. Louis, Colorado, the rivalry, the playoff rivalry that those 2 teams have, and even with St. Louis and Dallas, Winnipeg and Dallas, or Winnipeg and Colorado, this is why I advocate for this system. Because while you might knock out a Stanley Cup champion in the first round, you're most definitely going to knock somebody out in the second round, and that's the way it should be.
I'm still a team 1 versus 8 type of guy. I prefer that over the wild card system.
But you almost have it here.
You almost have it.
You have it here, right? And on our side, you have it here. To me, I like that they don't reseed anymore. I think that you create rivalries in the playoffs, not in the regular season. And this is how rivalries get created. Look at Vegas and Edmonton, or the Kings in Edmonton. This is the 4th year in a row they've met in the playoffs.
Yeah, I know.
4th year in a row. Talk about creating a rivalry. Vegas has created rivalries because they've been in the playoffs every year. All but one. Right? This is, and you go to the East, right? With Boston being out, it kind of takes away some rivalries. But the Battle of Florida, that's like, what, 2nd year in a row now that's happened?
Isn't it now the 3rd?
Carolina, New Jersey, they've had some battles. And the second round, the setup you have in the second round is huge on the East. I think the East second round is bigger than the first round.
Well, the second round, you could get a matchup of Tampa versus Toronto, Ottawa versus Florida, or vice versa. But
yeah,
I still prefer a traditional reseeding each round type of setup.
That's not traditional, though.
It is.
It's in your, see, you go back, for me, it's not traditional. They didn't start doing that until the mid-90s. That's not how it always was. So that's not traditional per se. Now they have one time took the conferences away. Well, for a couple of years, they took the conferences away and made it 1v16.
I do not like that idea.
Right? Say again?
I do not like the 1v16 idea.
Right? They did do that for a couple of years. I don't like it either. I like the conferences. I like this. I like the battles within the division because it makes the regular season division rivalries, and when you play in the in your conferential division, it makes that more exciting because it's a potential playoff matchup. That's why I love them. Okay, bud, I really got to go. I'm ahead. I got to jump in the shower and then get on the road. I love you. Thanks for showing up, Wendy. Everyone, thanks for showing up. I only got 3 likes today. You hurt me. But again, I appreciate you showing up. Have a great one. See you tomorrow for the game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Didn't think we'd be saying that this year. This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, saying aloha, mahalo. And you know what? Boys, what am I doing? What am I doing? Boys, where are you?
Hawaii Blues fan, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go